Good morning. This is a quick video to let people know there are two new add-on updates for boxing time and football time. So I will put a link to these. I've also put them into folders so they're easier to find. So again, the other day, boxing time, I made the historical boxers from the 1946 through 19 whatever those boxer range fit into. But starting, I think, with 46. Boxers who were live before 46 and fighting through 48. I think I've talked about this. Anyway, that's available. But also, I was able to finish this on the weekend. I just didn't get a chance to type it up, and I didn't get a chance to get it printed, but that's done now. And this add-on allows you to determine at every minute of the fight where the boxers are at, and if any boxer gets a bonus point for control. And this bonus point will add to their chance to win the round, but it will not add to TKO point totals. So for instance, if I roll so before I would roll the actual action for the minute, I would roll to see where they're at. Let's say I roll a 7. They're in ring center, no sweat, nobody gets an extra point. But let's say I rolled a 6. The red boxer would be trapped on the far ropes, and blue would get a bonus point for that minute, but you would not count it against his TKO because it's not punishment. It just means he's got him. He's controlling the fight. He's got him trapped in the corner. So red still gets to make their action roll just like blue, but blue would get an automatic bonus point in that first minute. Remember, with boxing time, both boxers get one roll per minute. So you're rolling for minute 1, 2, and 3. So anyway, you would roll this before every minute. So there's some action in the round physically, which is pretty sweet. Optional. These are all optional rules. And I've also added the knockdown type and cut TKO point cut observation. So again, these are optional, but let's say you roll the knockdown. You roll this chart to find out the situation the boxer who's been knocked down is in. So let's say I roll an 8. The boxer is on one knee and watching the opponent. So he's been knocked down. He's managed to get to one knee, and he might be sitting there breathing hard, watching his opponent push back into the corner before the count starts, and then you make the knockout roll to see if he gets up or if the referee stops the fight. Right, so this gives a look as to what it must look like. So if you roll a 2, the boxer's face down, so he gets hammered so hard the boxer's face down, but you still start the count, and by starting the count, you make the knockout roll, right? And that would tell you, you can imagine if he went from face down to up in 6, that he got up pretty quick, right? Or he got up at 5 or whatever. All right, now same with cut. So now when you roll a cut on the charts, you come over here and roll 2d6 to find out the observation. What kind of cut is it? If you roll one of these numbers, that's what's starting to show up. If you don't roll one of these numbers, it's still going to be a TKO point against the boxer, but there's just no obvious bad cut. So imagine these are bad injuries. These are bleeding injuries. These are really swollen. So if let's say I roll a 3, it's going to be like a minor cut in the eyebrow, and we don't make note of it, but it still counts as a TKO point because that means the other boxers scored some punches and is starting to you're not defending yourself. But this would just add detail to how bad is it getting as they collect cuts. And a cut could still be swelling, bloody nose, etc. All right. So these are just details, all optional, just gives you an idea. Of course, this affects actual scoring chance for boxers that don't accrue TKO points. This gives you some details when a knockdown occurs, what situation the knocked down boxer's in. And of course, when we have a cut roll, let's observe. We're making an observation as to what that looks like on our boxer. So this is optional. And again, these are free upgrades for boxing time. All right, now this morning I talked about this, that I was working on an instant result chart for football time. So football time has the traditional score by possession, score by quarter, full-blown simulation, and this morning I was able to work out my instant result charts. This allows you to just roll to see who wins the game. So in this folder, of course, we have our quick fields, our 100-yard field, our 110-yard field, our BC football time add-on. This is old. This is pretty darn old, actually, but it's still valuable to those who have the older versions of football time, our big country football time. the add-on for Football Time CFL. So this allows you to play the CFL with Football Time. And then now the brand new Football Time Complete Instant Results chart. And you could use this with any version of Football Time. Big Country, the old Football Time, or just any version of Football Time. But of course, the latest big installment is Football Time Complete. So this is pretty simple. It's meant to be a way for you to campaign, play your seasons out quickly. You're just looking for who wins and loses matchups. We're not looking for scores. You do the game grades just like you would if you were going to play out the game. So let's say Boston's offensive C is facing New York's, or let's say New York at home is facing Detroit, and Detroit's offense of C is facing New York's offense of C, and we're going to come out of C, and vice versa. Let's say they're both C's for the game. So the visitor game grade for Detroit is C. The visitor or the home game grade for New York is C. We cross-reference, and 1 to 3, you make a single 1d6 roll. If New York rolls a 1, 2, or 3, they will win the game. And as you can see, as I note here, on a roll of 1, 2, or 3, the single d6 will defeat Detroit. The player rolls a 3, and New York wins the home game, and it would be just listed in the, it would be listed on your schedule sheet as Detroit at New York. New York wins. Again, no score. There's no score here. You can always figure out a way to simulate your own scores. And the reason I've come up with this is, of late, I've been realizing that I might want to play a Dynasty Legacy Campaign Career with my team, and make all the other teams in the league, and in the off season make adjustments to those teams. But I don't necessarily want to simulate every game on the schedule. I want to play my games, but I want to know what the records are around my team, and this would be a quick way for me to generate everybody's record in the league around me based on their quality and whether they're at home or away. So that's done. So that's also available now free. Grab it if you want it. And there you have it, folks. We got a new boxing thing available now, BXT add-on, and then we have a brand new instant results chart too. All right, everybody, have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.